After being pregnant for almost 9 months, I started going into labor September 4th, 2001.
There came a point, though, as Hannah was making her way down the birth canal, we knew something was going wrong. Everyone jumped into action. The doctor lost the heartbeat. Here was this perfectly formed, plump little girl, but there wasn't even a smidgen of movement. They immediately began doing CPR, which continued for a number of minutes.
When I asked my doctor, is Hannah dead? He shook his head. Yes, I think she is.
And I stood there watching them work on this beautiful little girl with no response, which seemed like forever.
I had carried her for 9 months, and I had just heard a strong heartbeat across the hall, and now there was no sign of life in this little baby that had just been delivered.
All of a sudden, I could tell the moment the pediatrician picked up a heartbeat.
They took her away from us after we got some pictures and took her across town to Dutton Hospital in Athens.
I mean, there was very little prospect that her organs would start functioning properly.
They said that her motor skills had been affected because of the severe swelling in her brain.
The following day, I got a call from the doctor and said, at this point, they've removed life support, and Hannah is breathing on her own.
We visited Hannah daily. We pleaded to God that He would, in some miraculous way, save her life and also begin to repair her brain.
One of the things that we heard repeatedly was that she would never walk, she'd never talk. And so that's how we left the ICU, with this prognosis that we would have a daughter that would be a complete vegetable the rest of her life.
We were elated to bring Hannah back to our apartment at day 17 after her birth.
We began receiving dozens upon dozens of emails and calls letting us know that there were people praying who didn't even know Hannah, really didn't even know our family, but had heard about Hannah.
In that first year, we saw so much growth in Hannah's life. She woke up to the world. She started to gain weight. She started to take her first steps at about 15 months. It was very, very encouraging for us to see her in school, start to read, start to write, start to interact with other kids. When she got to 3rd grade, she was struggling in many, many areas.
We realized at that point we needed to make a decision to return to the States, where the educational system was much more geared towards helping kids who had these sort of special needs. There have been a number of ways in which we've seen progress, and there have been a number of ways in which we've seen not so much progress. For the most part, I'm encouraged because I see Hannah continue to develop and mature. She faces some struggles socially, and she faces struggles with critical reasoning and thinking and memorization. And those struggles, I think, will continue on in the future.
As we look to the future, we are so thankful for God's faithfulness. In the 13 years since her birth, she has reached so many milestones that she was never expected to reach.
We saw from Hannah's first breath the prayers of God's people making an impact in our own lives. The joy on Hannah's face to see her run and play, read a book, write, all those sorts of things were out of the question in her prognosis. And yet we've seen a miracle. And the moment I see Hannah, I see answered prayer. I see the hand of God. I see the grace of God.
Say, I am precious.